Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reddit Stories with Lo, and today we'll be reading three different Reddit stories, deciding if they are the a-hole or if they're not the a-hole. Let's get started. All right, our first Redditor is called Beta Girl 96. The title is, Am I the asshole for telling my mother she chose her own mom over her kids after letting our house hit 90 degrees? I, 30 female, am currently stuck living at home while recovering from a severe GI infection that directly stemmed from the heat exhaustion. Instead of a supportive environment to recover, my household have turned into a multi-generational war zone because my mom, 56 female, and grandmother, Yaya, 83 female, consistently turn off the AC. The house regularly peaks at 90 degrees inside, and it is June 12th. It peaked 92 degrees. My mother has a lifelong habit of refusing to stand up to Yaya or anyone else. Or any else in an argument will ensure. Recently, this turned dangerous. My nonverbal autistic brother and I physically cannot handle these temperatures. I needed my mom to hold a firm, basic boundary, turn the AC on, and leave it running continuously so we do not get heat stroke. Instead, my mom chose total passivity, claiming she refuses to she refuses to choose sides between her mother's comfort and her own children's physical safety. I finally snapped and told her not choosing is the same thing as literally choosing your own mother over your kids. My mom is now calling my bluff, claiming I am being selfish, dramatic, and I'm trying to tear the family apart. She's literally threatening to leave the house. To make matters worse, Yaya has been weaponizing threats to sell the house to force us into submission. However, she is in severe cognitive decline. She is actively hallucinating my dead grandfather, claiming that he's telling her what to do and the things that he would never say, but because he's literally dead. Between my mother's total failure to protect her kids, my grandmother using a ghost threaten our housing stability, and the house literally baking us at 90 degrees Celsius, 90 degrees Fahrenheit, while I try to cure a GI infection, I am completely drained. Basically, the gist is my mom and my grandmother's claim that I'm being an asshole for forcing my mom to choose. Am I the asshole? First of all, as someone who lived in a crazy hot environment, that is completely unacceptable to have 90 degrees inside. That is wild. That is so dangerous. And considering they already have a GI infection that is caused by extreme heat and they continuously letting this happen, it's a problem. Passive people are also a problem. So people like to be like, oh, well, I'm passive, so therefore I'm not in it. No, your indecision is a decision. I have a few edits by the author. The first edit says, to clear up a few things, I am currently physically incapacitated from a severe GI infection caused by heat exhaustion. I cannot simply pack up and leave today. Furthermore, my brother is a nonverbal autistic adult who cannot advocate for himself. If I leave, he is left in 90 plus degree household. This isn't a petty fight about rent or mortgage. It is immediate physical safety for vulnerable people. The second edit says a lot of people are completely missing the legal and caregiver dynamics here. This isn't an agree to disagree family spat. Under Kentucky state law, so they live in Kentucky, under Kentucky state law, my grandmother's behavior is officially classified as self-neglect due to her cognitive decline, and my mother is actively enabling it. My mother is completely failing her duty to protect a nonverbal autistic adult who cannot advocate for his own physical safety. Letting an indoor environment bake at 90 plus degrees with a vulnerable people inside crosses the line into state reportable neglect. I am not being entitled. I am trying to stop my family from committing a compliance violation while recovering from actual heat exhaustion. So, and then on edit 3, they released an article. So, just based on my own assumptions, I do not think they are the a-hole. I kind of can see why some commenters may believe that this is, oh, well, you're being dramatic or you're being entitled. I can see it a little bit because the commenter is living in someone else's home, but at the same time, obviously, this is not okay. Because even if you didn't want somebody in your house and to begin with, just kick them out at that point. But to try to use them and coax them and manipulate the whole living situation, first of all, is underhanded and grimy. Second of all, If they, you know, they're there, why are you trying to burn them up here? But obviously the grandmother is going through a mental decline. The mother is should have been fixing the issue and she's not, which is a really big problem. So for our first post, let us know in the comments, is the first one a-hole or is the first person not an a-hole? And let me know why. Do you agree with the commenters who be like, well, she living in someone else's house, get over it? Or are you part of the group, well, you know she's there, she shouldn't be burning up, this need to be fixed? Let me know. Now that the votes are in, let's get ready for our next story. So, this author is named Jared_D. They say, am I the asshole for refusing to go for a full week on my wife's family vacation after we have already agreed not to repeat it? So this gets a little dicey based on the title. You're like, why won't you want to spend time with your wife? However, apparently they already made an agreement to not do it again, and it appears that she's trying to push it. So that can cause a not a-hole for his side and a-hole for hers. For years, my wife, our 2 kids, and I went to the same beach town for a week with part of my wife's family, her little brother, sister-in-law, their kids, and her mom. We originally did this because another sibling's family lived there, so it was a chance for all of the cousins to be together. The issue is that the trip can become extremely repetitive and rigid. Same beach, same street, same basic schedule, same restaurants, meals on the same days, strict quiet times / bedtimes, very little flexibility. My wife's family is a routine driven and frugal. My wife is structured too, but on vacation, we like variety, activities, and some flexibility. When the other siblings' families still lived there was more balance. Once they stopped going, it became just us in a routine driven side. The last couple of years were miserable. The house got smaller while the kids got bigger. The last couple of years were miserable. The houses got smaller while the kids got bigger. The routine became more rigid. Our kids were bored and stir crazy, and I ended up trying to take them out and do things to break up the week. That caused tension because I was going outside the plan. My wife has also stressed and admitted afterwards that the trip was no longer enjoyable. After the last trip, my wife and I had a long conversation and agreed that we would not do the same vacation again. We talked about trying something different, mountains, lakes, different beach, really anything else. Recently, my wife handed me her phone and asked me which vacation house was nicer. It was the same beach, same street, basically the same exact trip again. I was angry because I thought we had already agreed that this was done. Her explanation is that her mom said this location is sentimental to her and that all she wanted to do is have her grandkids together there. Her brother's family agreed immediately. My wife said it was this or nothing. So she chose this because getting grandma and the grandkids together was important to her. She had fully committed herself and our kids to going to this for the full week. She assumed I would eventually agree and go too. My issue is that I feel like her and my mom and brother made the decision. My wife accepted it, and I was informed after the fact. I told her I felt betrayed and isolated because we have already agreed as a couple not to repeat the trip. She keeps circling back to, this is important to me. Why don't you just do it for me? We've been fighting for a solid week about it, so I offered a compromise. I said, because it's become so important to her, I come for the last 2 nights. She has committed herself and the kids to a full week. Now she says that since she knows I don't want to be there, I've ruined it. And I've always acted like this. She has also brought it up around the kids, so now they know there is a conflict. I'm not trying to stop the kids from seeing their grandmother. I'm not saying not to go with them. I said I'm not spending a full week of my vacation time repeating the exact same trip we have already agreed was bad for our family. Good sir, you're not the a-hole. You're not the a-hole. You're not the a-hole. Your wife and her family is being very, very manipulative, especially after you guys have this conversation already. And if she wanted to be more agreeable, she could have been like, you know what, we could have you can come at the last 2 days, Or matter of fact, just ask the opposite. Be like, hey babe, can you come with me for the first 2 days and then we can do something after? So everybody kind of gets their time. However, she's been being manipulated by her family and she's choosing to be manipulated by her family. And now she kind of ruined it. Good sir, you are not the a-hole. But we can read the top comment and see what they say as well. So they agreed that he was not the a-hole. Commenter Asylum M2. They said, not the a-hole, but I probably just go to make plans with my kids to do whatever they/you want to do. Who cares about what anybody else thinks? Find stuff that you haven't done before. Go to places that you haven't done before. And if her family has an issue with it, says it's your vacation too. And you and the kids are going to have fun. Maybe if they realize that you aren't going to be a pushover and do what they won't either push you as much to go or they will just let it go. Make memories with your kids. Screw everyone else. I wholeheartedly agree. If you want to just tank it, even though I don't think you should have to, but if you do decide to tank it, do it for your kids, but make time for them separately away from the family, but then bring them back when everybody is in, not cahoots, but like collaborative together. Bring them back for that. Otherwise, do your own thing. You guys are adults. You do not need everybody's permission to do what you want to do. Literally, do what you want. Have fun with it. And if your wife or her family had more of an issue with that, then you need to start taking further steps because this problem is a little bit bigger than what it seems. Make sure you cast your votes because we're getting into our last story. So our Redditor is called Glittering Rainbow Cat. This one is a two-parter, so we got a lot to read. Let's get started. So their title is, Am I the a-hole for bringing Tupperware to a restaurant? I have definitely seen people take Tupperware to a restaurant before. Do I think you're necessarily an a-hole from doing it? No. Are you just an interesting particular individual? Yes. So I don't think they'll be an a-hole for doing it. I think they'll get a lot of stares though. So they said, hey there, I think I need a few strangers from the internet to decide what's going on here. So a few weeks ago, I, female, went to a burger place with a girlfriend of mine. I know they serve quite big burgers in the past and have always had leftovers. So I decided to bring Tupperware this time just in case. I ordered my burger, added some wedges, and enjoyed my meal while having a super nice conversation. I ate maybe 1/3 of the wedges, not even half the burger, and decided to stop because I wanted some dessert. After ordering, I pulled out a box and started to fill it with my leftovers. I felt quite clever. I didn't overreact, and there was still space for dessert in my belly. I didn't have to pay a buck. So for the doggy bag, which had leaked in my bag in the past, and there will be enough for next day's lunch. So triple win, if you will. After everything was packed and I put a box in my bag, I realized my friend was kind of quiet, but didn't thought much about it. She tends to be quiet after eating. After we were done, everyone paid for their own meal and we left. Then she looked at me and was like, "Oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing." I was confused. She explained to me how awkward she felt and people were staring and whatnot, and was kind of mad. I explained my point of view, the benefits and all, but nope. In the end, I was like, please calm down. It's not like I took a box to an all-you-can-eat buffet and stuffed it in front of all the waiters. We also didn't split the bill, so it's fine. I ordered more so I can use for tomorrow. She was still mad. So we went our separate ways. But here's the thing. I think it's a good, environmental friendly way and did it again while eating with a guy friend a few days ago. And he was like, whoa, that's neat. And even gave me some of his onion rings. So dear strangers of the internet, am I the a-hole or not? Should I have communicated before putting out my box? Should I have asked the waiter, which haven't said anything at all? Or should I have just buy a leftover box from the restaurant next time? I absolutely do not know. Please share your thoughts with me. So what also comes to mind is that I am quite overweight and I struggle with BED. So I was happy to not overeat. My friend has a normal weight and also has no ED as far as I know. Thank you for reading. So we have a few updates or edits. The Redditor said, "Thank you for all your replies so far. I'll answer a few things here. Where are you from? Central Europe. This thread is huge, so it should be specific enough. 2. Here is super common to pay for one use item, example for the boxes in restaurants in plastic bags. 3. It was not a date. Maybe the term female friend would have been better, but yeah, it was just a girls' dinner. 4. I can be a little eccentric from time to time, and all my friends know that, but she and I weren't out for lunch/dinner often. 5. In general, she is very nice and pleasant person to be around, and we have such a good time together. I'm pretty sure that is some kind of trigger. I will contact her tomorrow and try to find out and talk to her. So there might be an update coming." So the top comment was not the a-hole. "As a chef and a restaurant owner, I applaud this sort of thinking and wish more people would consider it for casual dining. There is no to-go boxes that are really good quality or all expensive to use. So this is a great fix for everyone. Your friend has their own insecurities and have nothing to do with you." So before I get my final results, they did come back with a quite a long update. So let's see what they said. They said, "Update. Hey there. First, I want to thank you for all the responses in my original post. I really appreciate it. For the update, the day after my original post, I reached out to my friend and asked if she has time in the next few days. We met today for a nice long stroll in the park. The beginning was kind of awkward because we never had a fight before. Normally, it's not a problem when life is busy and we don't write for a few days or even weeks. But today, it felt strange. I'm not a fan of beating around the bush, so I simply asked her, 'So in a burger place, what exactly triggered you?' Honestly, it was like poking a water balloon. She apologized for everything and how afraid she was I might still be mad at her and apologize some more. Then she explained to me what her trigger was. What can I say? We all kind of wrong. You guys, it's her aunt. She has an aunt who was always bring a few boxes for the family gatherings, but instead of waiting until everyone is done and the food is back in the kitchen, which is fine, she sometimes fills the boxes before it goes to the table. Because my friend's grandma knows of this behavior, she started to cook even more, but the aunt just brought more boxes as well. But that's not all. Said aunt will also bring boxes to a restaurant and if they order different meals so everyone can have a try from the plates for all the plates. She's like, "No one wants any more, right?" And packs everything up while everyone was still eating. My friend is a slow eater, so often her aunt fills her boxes before she even tried what she wanted. I've always wanted to use the word flabbergasted in a post. I think this is the right time, and I was definitely flabbergasted. How impudent can a person be? I asked why no one said anything about it, but they said they all just too tired to deal with her outburst. It's easier to say nothing. I felt that. So, yeah, she knew it was my food and everything, but it also triggered her really bad. I apologized for not warning her, but she said it's totally her fault, and I said I will make sure next time, but she was like, "No, no, no, it's a nice work on it." Well, in the end, we had a really nice stroll, talked about different things, and everything is good. I'm really glad that we cleared that out though. Thanks for reading this. Have a great rest of your week. So, top comment is something sweet. They just said, "I am glad that you two could talk it through. Always great to see two people work things out like adults." So I wholeheartedly agree. Initially you might be like, "Oh, she hate big people and she just don't like that and yada yada yada." But I love that the Redditor decided to talk to her and be like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, let me know." And she was able to get that explanation from her friend, which is wonderful. Um, as like if I was the Redditor's friend, I can see the issue there. You're trying to eat your food, chew it, enjoy your time, savor it even. And all you see is the aunt just grabbing your plate, stuffing it in the to-go box, and you're like, wait a minute, hold up, I'm not finished eating. But then you can't say anything because she's gonna have a temper tantrum and it's gonna cause a whole mess. So I completely understand why she has that trigger. And I love how she tried to go past it, even with her friend, like, no, no, no. You are correct. I am wrong. I have to work on it. And you doing this, you working on yourself by doing this is also helping me work on myself with that, which I think is great. We had three wonderful stories today. I enjoyed each one of them, especially the last one with the update. But please let me know all your votes in the comment sections below. Do not forget to like and let me know, hey, I kind of like this Reddit story thing. Let me hear it. But thank you so much for watching all the way through, and I will see you guys next time.